So welcome back guys to my YouTube channel. My name is Lobanzi Tabati, and right now we're about to check out The Harder They Fall. Now the reason why I am doing this review is how inspirational the behind the scenes are, especially as I'm also an aspiring filmmaker myself. The director James Samuels doesn't really have a lot in his catalog, but he does have a short film known as They Die by Dawn, which really isn't that mainstream because it was only available on Tidal and not on like in your actual theater or on YouTube or in any other platform. But Netflix really liked his script for The Harder They Fall. This film was actually supposed, if I'm not mistaken, it was supposed to come out 10 years ago, but due to hiccups and inconveniences, it couldn't. But Netflix managed to give James Samuels $90 million to shoot his first feature-length film. Like, think about that. Like, you only have a credible short film in your resume, and Netflix really likes your scripts and hands you $90 million to shoot your first feature-length film. To me, that is inspiring. And so right now we're about to look at the review of his first feature-length film, The Harder They Fall, which to me is one of the best movies to come out this year. So without wasting any more time, let's just jump straight into the review. So we meet a young Nate Love, our protagonist, played by Jonathan Majors, sitting with his family about to have lunch, when all of a sudden their lunch gets interrupted by a man who goes by the name Rufus Buck, played by Idris Elba, in which both of Nate's parents are gunned down in front of him. It's almost like a Western version of Bruce Wayne's origin, in which Rufus carves a cross on Nate's forehead just so he can remember him when Nate is out to seek revenge. Fast forward like 20 years later, Nate now has a gang in which his partners Bill and Jim accidentally rob outlaws of the money that belongs to Rufus, and that's when shit hits the fan. Rufus, who's getting busted out of a train in the most badass way possible by his gang, which consists of Regina King as Trudy and Kirky Bill played by Lakeith Stanfield. Like, just imagine Fast and Furious where the gang was busting out Dom from the bus, but now just think of it in the Western version, where instead of a bus, it's a train, and instead of cars, they're using horses. And it's just crazy. When Rufus goes back to his town, he finds out that the mayor, Willie, has used the town's profit for his own interest. Buck legit beats the living crap out of him, like he legit knocks his teeth out, reminding him and the citizens why he established the town and that things should be done his way. While Nate is now trying to rekindle things with his ex Mary, Bill and Jim tell him about the news with regards to Rufus. Mary, being a hot-headed, decides to take Rufus down on her own, in which things go south and Nate and the gang now have to retrieve her. Rufus, having home ground advantage, captures Nate and tells him that the only way he'll give back Mary is if they repay the money entitled to him and his crew. In an act of desperation, they rob a bank. To bring more emphasis, they rob a white bank in the most hilarious way, and they go out to face Rufus in the most classic Western way possible. Well, I'm just gonna end it there. I'm not gonna spoil the final outcome and the ending, but I just hope that recap kinda wanna make you invest in the story itself. Now, what I didn't love about this film is the protagonist and the antagonist, meaning Nate Love and Rufus Buck. We first meet Nate Love at 10 years old, okay? His parents get gunned down. And then we get a 20-year jump, and he's now a gunslinger, and how he has a gang. I mean, like, what happened between those 20 years? Like, that time jump is just so rapid that, like, we don't even know what got him into gunslinging. You could say that it's the death of his parents, but like, who taught him? Take an example and look at Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne's parents get gunned down when he was very young, and you kind of see his progression. Like, he gets trained by Ra's al Ghul in the League of Assassins. You get that backstory. But with Nate, we just meet him as a defenseless 10-year-old into a heroic gunslinger. Like, we don't get that development, in which I really wanted there to be, but we never got it, which made his character feel a bit empty. And also the antagonist, like Rufus Buck. I mean, I'm not gonna go deep into him because I don't want to spoil the plot for you guys, but he just felt empty. Like, I wanted more from him. He's like, he doesn't do much in the story. The gang does most of the action for him. Like, outside of shooting Nate's Love's parents, his gang busts him out of that moving train, and they basically do the dirty work for him, and he's just laid back in the background. And it kind of felt empty because I feel as if, like, they could have been an iconic duo, but both sides were just empty. Nate Love felt empty, in which the antagonist felt empty. And it felt weird towards the end, where they tried to mash the two and trying to create that bond and that philosophical clash between the two, the ideals. But it just feels empty because they don't necessarily interact. Take, for example, Bruce Wayne again and the Joker. Look at the Dark Knight. Look at how the dynamic works. Like, when the Joker is on screen, you understand, like, he has your full attention. Similar with Bruce Wayne, you get to understand why the Joker is doing what he's doing. But with the antagonist in this case, which is Rufus, he guns down the parents of Nate Love, and then now he's in prison, and then now, it feels a bit rushed to me. Rufus and Nate don't meet more enough. I hope that makes sense. Like, we don't have, look at the Dark Knight, like, we don't get that interrogation scene in The Harder They Fall. We don't get that scene where Joker is hanging from the building and Bruce Wayne has him by the hand. We don't get those scenes between the two, and that felt empty to me. Now, what I loved about this film is the budgets. Like, it really feels as if you're watching a $90 million film. The cinematography is out of this world. Like, when they say that black don't crack, I mean, black does not crack. Everything is stunning. The visuals are visually pleasing. That dialogue is just so witty and engaging. Like, the writers make you care about these characters. Yes, they do say that the events of this film are fictional, but the characters themselves are non-fiction, meaning that they did exist in some point in history. So it really felt as if it was a Quentin Tarantino film, because you know how Quentin is with history. He'll take a historic event and manipulate it into his own way of thinking. And when I watched the trailer for this, it really gave me Django Unchained Hateful Eight vibes. And man, it was just so visually pleasing and engaging. Now, what I also loved about this film is the soundtracks. Who would have thought that reggae, soul, blues, and hip hop would fit perfectly in the Western genre? I mean, Jay-Z really did an astounding job in the soundtrack department. Now, what I also loved is the Keith Stanfield's performance. To me, he is like the MVP of the story. And the funny thing is that he's not even the main character. He's a side character, but his performance just takes the crown. Like every scene that he's in, he has you by the palm of your hand. Every word, the delivery, the poise, everything about him, his aura is just so demanding. Like he just has you so glued and invested to his character. And there you have it, guys, my thoughts and opinions on The Harder They Fall. I would give this film a strong 3.5 to 4 out of 5. Just because, like, this film is honestly outstanding. There's a few flaws in it, but in overall, it's one of the best films to come out this year. If you've watched it, what would you rate it? Comment down below, and don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And until then, guys, it's your boy Lubanzi Tlabati. Peace.